Edward here from earviewer.com. I have another video for you. This is another very interesting example, or interesting to me anyway. I find these things so interesting and absolutely fascinating. But this was a very interesting example of several different or specific mental processes that were taking place as I was acquiring and interacting with this input from what Ingo terms the second reality. The target, again, I'm completely blind to all these targets. They're from online databases. I don't know what it is until I'm done with my session. I go and I click on the link and I get my feedback, and then I can go back and explore what processes were taking place, what pieces of the input were unimpeded, what parts of it were subjected to mental processes, and which mental processes were those. And that's what is most interesting to me. I'm absolutely fascinated by these notions of second reality. I'm fascinated by the notions of psychic nucleus and ESP core. These, again, all Ingo Swann terms from his own explorations and what he experienced and explored in his life's work of consciousness and ESP studies. The target was the Lloyd's of London building in England. That was the target. And what is unique about this target, as per what I was experiencing in the session, is that it's considered the inside-out building, meaning that a lot of the internal parts of the building, or some of them, were built on the outside, like the ductwork, the big metal ductwork wraps around the building. And they have a very interesting external elevator system, which was very unique to the building at the time that it was constructed, and it makes the building one of the top 10 most famous buildings in the world for this type of unique elevator setup. And that was the part that was, as this input was moving through, that was the part that I was drawn to the most. And that aspect was then, again, subjected to my own mental processes, which was a combination of memory comparison, creative additions, and idea generation. And as what I was getting was that there was a tight space. I felt like I was in a tight space, which brought on memories of flying and a module, like a lunar module or a capsule, with someone inside of it. So someone inside of a small, confined little capsule or module. And as I continued with shape form recognition or adding in the shapes, the shapes that I was drawing or sketching then created a second comparison to that of a life form inside of a cage. So I had these two dueling memory comparisons, or two dueling idea generations of a life form inside of a small space. One of them being a memory of a module, like a space module, and the other one being one of a life form of some kind inside of a cage. I had the feeling, I could tell very strongly, that I was dealing with memory comparison for both of them, and I did point that out as I continued to explore them. So that's what made this session really interesting to me, what I would consider dueling ideas or dueling memory comparison. But I also wanted to address something else that is very important to me, something I've been talking about for the past 2 years at least, which is the reason why anyone would even want to explore these things or explore remote viewing or get involved in this type of endeavor. Over my many years of experience in this community, I've come to see it as two different camps, or at least two different camps, or at least two that I identify with. You have one camp that is the data mining information gatherer, and they see remote viewing as a means of obtaining information for someone else, typically. Information that they are seeking answers to, and they reach out, and people are assigned to these tasks, and their job is to gather information. They're data miners. That's their job, and I believe that came from the military's use of the faculty and of the function. Their job was to obtain information. That's what they did. That was their job. But I believe that Ingo was not just. I don't believe that Ingo saw himself as a data miner. I believe Ingo saw himself in the other camp, which I identify myself in with as well, as the explorer experimenter. We want to explore these realms. We want to experiment with accessing what he termed the second reality. And the target really doesn't really matter that much. It doesn't matter as much as experiencing the exploration of this second reality. That there is a second reality that we have access to, and we can select points in time and space and acquire these inputs, and then they move through our core, our ESP core, where they are subjected to all of these mental processes. This is what I am absolutely the most fascinated with. This is more interesting to me than describing something for someone else or anything like that. This is an experience that I absolutely am drawn to for so many years, and I love it. And I do it. I do all this work because I absolutely love the experience, and that's why I do it. And not for obtaining information. I'm not interested in the information about targets. I'm interested in the experience of accessing the second reality. That's my main focus, and that's where most of my energy goes into. I do work private projects on the side, very few. I'm very selective, and I just can't work on anything that I'm not interested in, and this is what I'm most interested in. So that's what this video was about. That's what this experience was about, and I hope you find it as interesting as I do, and many more to come. Okay. 8028 wide around. Some kind of there's some space in between. Some space, narrow, wide, tall. Okay. Thin. Yeah. I'm not sure the orientation. Either that way or this way. Slim, dense, hard, open. I am getting a feel like I'm in a tight space. Like I'm inside here. It is dense and narrow. Brown, whites, green, yellow, and blue. Eight 8028 8028 8028. This could be random thought here. I'm getting the flying. I'm getting all kinds of memory comparison now. Of like Apollo moon going to the moon. Like a capsule. Like a capsule kind of thing. It's tight inside, tight inside. Round, flat and dense, metallic. It does feel like people. These can be memory comparisons here with this kind of space mission kind of thing. Which could be just memory comparison, could be some other kind of experiment. Or endeavor. Which could be being compared with this kind of being in a small shuttle. Small, tight inside, like person inside there. Module. Getting a lot of comparison here with this space voyage, or space travel. But it could just be comparison. Could be a different type of experiment or exploration. Try for some different. I feel like they're like if I were in it, it would be tight. Or snug. Inside. Yeah. A life form inside something. That's a neutral way of putting it. Without creative additions or memory comparison. That looks like someone in jail. I'm not sure. That really isn't the feel that I get from this at this point. Maybe some other kind of design. Not really. Inside. Brown. Liquid. gaseous, chemical. A chemical is a liquid. The liquid doesn't really feel like water. Hot. What else is there? There's something else. Eight 8028. 8028. 8028. Round, yeah, liquid. Liquid. Vast. Inside. Around. Flat. Tubular. Dense. Round. Inside. This feels very strong to me. Someone inside of something. I keep coming back to these memory comparisons here with like a space shuttle or a lunar module or something. What is that representing? Is a person inside of a small space. Inside a small space. Or inside a person or a life form. I get a sense that it's a person, but it could be a life form. Inside a small space. The previous one was bringing me back to the idea of being in a cage. You know, with some kind of life in there. This is, again, moving through idea generation. The idea of something inside of something. Eight 8028. Far. Dense. Out. Open. Moving. Inside. Moving inside. Moving inside. There's movement. Movement inside of there. I'm getting this sense of like a liquid or a gas. A liquid or a gas. Either in or around. Eight 8028. Winding around. Winding around. Wrapped. I mean, yeah, something on the outside here. Something on the outside. Protective. Shielding. round, open, looping, got a series of words coming in here. The word scape came through, like landscape, like a landscape or a scape of some kind. And it also moved through memory comparison of escape, which is moving me over here to the cage idea. This kind of thing is more here. These two are both in my mind right now. Like looking at escape, a landscape or other. And the other one is escape from some kind of confinement of some kind. That's interesting to me. These two comparisons are interesting. Okay, that's about it on that one for now. Okay, so this is interesting here. This feels good to me. It feels good to me. This idea that of some life form inside of something, bringing up memory comparisons of a person inside of a small, inside of something that's tight or snug. This brings me to memory comparison of like a lunar module or something like that. But also, that came from the idea of flying, the sense of flying. I still kind of have that sense too. That feeling kind of feels like it's there. But that also bring up these other ideas here of, well, part of it was from the sketching that made it look like something was inside of a cage of some kind, or a confinement of some kind.